Hello, and thanks for joining me today. You're listening to Alive with Dr. Nimira. Over the last decade, I've been spending my days taking care of mostly women who not only have aches and pains, but who've also spent the last decade or two putting their career and family first. I stand for a world where we can live our passions and purpose all out without the fear of our physical bodies giving out. I've created this podcast, Alive, Always Living in Vibrant Energy, as a quick way for you to learn more about your body. This really is a no frills, get the information out there podcast, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. As an upper cervical chiropractor, I regularly take care of many different types of people at varying degrees of health, and over the upcoming episodes, we'll discuss many types of things that can be reduced or eliminated when you can rebalance your health at the level of your brainstem. So March is Traumatic Brain Injury Awareness Month, and I thought it would be a good time to talk about this because it's another common condition I take care of people with. And so a traumatic brain injury is caused by altered brain function. And this usually occurs due to an injury by a blow to the head. So this can be seen in things like sports activities, kids who play football, major car accidents where there's potentially a whiplash injury, or the car is, sideswiped, or rear end collision where there's the potential for the head to hit either the seat or the steering wheel or something like that, or if it flips the ground. Different types of car accidents can cause concussion. You could have slips and falls just growing up, falling out of a bunk bed or out of a tree or out of a truck, down a set of stairs. I've heard so many different ways people have gotten themselves concussions, including big ones for me are athletes are big ones, but gymnasts especially, equestrians, people who've been thrown or fallen from their horse, or ski or snow injuries as well. There are lots of different ways that we can have these types of concussions. So in these larger injuries, you also can have a person potentially become unconscious as well. And if that happens, then there's there's a very high chance that the patient's gotten a concussion. So patients who have experienced a concussion may have experience of a very large range of symptoms. The most common of them being headaches and mental fogginess. That can turn into long-term migraines as well. You have ringing in the ears potentially, definitely fatigue, blurry vision, or other normal symptoms as well. A person who has longer-term symptoms may start to notice just kind of general irritability because they don't feel good, changes in sleep, their body can't heal, and they're not able to rest, and that prevents them from healing even more, and they get tired, which then causes that irritability again. Issues with concentration as well as sensitivity to light. So to diagnose a concussion, a person could actually undergo different neurological testing, just basic neurological testing, but they might also have additional CT or MRI to check for bleeding or swelling inside the skull. And the most common treatment for concussion is really just the body to have a period of time for healing. So you want to make sure if you've had a concussion that your body gets a chance to go through the healing process to see how much will heal and how many of those symptoms will go away. You really want to avoid potentially having a second concussion because you don't want to double up on those and cause everything to get even worse. During this time, you might also have some anti-inflammatories, stronger ones that are prescribed to you, or just some general over-the-counter medications to help with headaches or pain. So a concussion is technically considered a brain-related injury, but upper cervical chiropractic has been helping people who have symptoms of concussion by realigning the upper neck area that's usually injured during the trauma of both the head and the neck. So while we think of it as a head injury, usually the neck, especially because those tiny little bones are there at the base of the skull, they can get misaligned during that jarring injury and cause unnecessary tension at the brainstem. And we know, because I talk about all the time, that impairment of proper brainstem function will always lead to impaired nervous system function. And then during the case of a concussion, it will also inhibit blood flow to the brain, and it could reduce the cerebrospinal fluid drainage, resulting in intracranial pressure. And that's where you get a lot of that fogginess, dizziness, headaches, all that is from that increased intracranial pressure. And these can lead to those post-concussion symptoms such as migraines, vertigo, brain fog, and other difficulties. So if the neck isn't corrected, it can turn into long-term damage. Now, I've had quite a few patients who have had concussions. One of them actually played football growing up. He played all the way through college and just couldn't go any further because not only did he have post-concussive symptoms, he was also having cluster migraines. And that kind of just was debilitating, and it prevents you from having a life. And so when we're able to actually reset that upper neck area and create stability, he was able to not only reduce the pain, reduce the headaches, he was able to start feeling like himself again, was actually able to start working out again and feeling like, you know, his age versus feeling like he'd, you know, overaged in the decades after playing football. I also have another patient who was hit by a car 2 or 3 years ago now, and she'd literally gone through 2 years of trying all different types of treatment. And I remember every time she came in, she would just tell me, can we just decapitate me at the level of the neck? Like, just take off my head and I'll feel a whole lot better. Everything else feels okay, but the dizziness is bad. The headaches just won't go away. I'm always tired. I can't think straight. All of these things can really kind of turn your life upside down, especially in the case of these two people. They both work for themselves, and so their business and their income relied on them being able to function and being able to get that atlas axis brainstem area back in alignment, taking pressure off the brainstem. All those things helped the body start going through its healing process, and we started to see the headaches go away, and we started to see the dizziness go away, and we start to see people being able to function again. And then even just in bigger news, I have a former NFL star quarterback who had many concussions, neck pain, migraines, brain fog, all these things that were causing a myriad of symptoms during his career. And after receiving upper cervical care, he noticed improvement in the headaches, vision, and speech. So I'll put his story in the comments of the podcast. But it's really cool to see how upper cervical care has really helped so many different people be able to start living their lives again. So if you know someone who's been suffering after concussion, it's never too late. Like I mentioned with my patient, it had been over 2 years since she'd had one, and we were still able to start making changes. So I have many patients that find me these years after the injury, and as long as the findings show up on the examination, we're able to have symptomatic improvement with care. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you learned something new and that you have useful information to improve your health. Don't take life too seriously. Stress makes everything worse. Enjoy this week as best as you can, and I'll catch you in 2 weeks. In the meantime, purposefully live all out and reach out for help if you need it. I'm here for you.